Time for a creepy tale. The House of 3's, as told by Carol Smith, written by Douglas Smith. Part 2, The Headless Man. Several months after the man left the house, my mother's parents noticed little things were wrong in the house. Lights flickering, things missing or moved from where they had been left, and bumps and knocks in the night. But it wasn't enough to scare them off. One night, after putting the kids to bed, her mother and father were sitting up talking and listening to the radio. All at once, the knocking started again. They simply ignored it, and after 20 minutes or so, the knocking stopped. Later, as they sat there talking, a picture fell off the wall. Her father got up, rehung the picture, and then went over and sat back down. Shortly after that, they decided to go to bed. At some time during the night, her father woke, hearing footsteps in the house. Thinking it was one of the kids going to the bathroom, he went back to sleep. Shortly after falling asleep, he woke again, hearing footsteps. Thinking one of the kids might be sick, he got up and looked around. As he walked from room to room, he saw all the kids were still in bed. Figuring he must have been dreaming, and having checked the whole house, he went back to bed. After going back to bed, he was jolted from sleep by someone violently shaking him. As he looked up to see who it was, there, standing over him, was the silhouette of a large, headless man. He grabbed for the man, thinking he was an intruder. Evading his hand, it turned and ran out of the room with her father close behind. The figure ran into the boys' room and vanished at the fireplace. Still in shock, he started turning lights on. Going back to his bedroom to retrieve his shotgun, he heard knocking coming from the boys' room. As he ran back to the boys' room, the knocking stopped. He stood there for a while, and within a few minutes, the knocking started up again. It was then that he realized the knocking wasn't coming from the door, but from the floor at the fireplace where the figure had disappeared. He went out the side door from the boys' room and looked under the house. Seeing nothing was there, he went back inside. Minutes passed, and the knocking started up again. He put his hand on the old stone fireplace and could feel the vibrations through it. He looked up the chimney, and nothing was there. He went back outside and looked at the rooftop and the chimney. Deciding there was nothing he could do at that moment, he went back to bed. The next morning when he got up, He asked the boys if they had been up playing in the house the night before. They all said,
"No, sir."
Convinced they were telling the truth, he went back into the boys' room, scanning the fireplace carefully for anything that could explain what happened the night before. He wasn't able to see anything that could explain the knocking or the disappearance of what he had seen. At that point, he got his tools and started ripping up the floor and dismantling the fireplace where the headless man had disappeared. He examined every piece of wood and stone closely, not finding anything that could provide a logical explanation for what happened. They made pallets on the floor in the other room for the boys to sleep on, and for several nights he sat up waiting for something to happen. After a week of waiting without a sound, his wife tried to convince him that he had been having a bad dream. He conceded and decided to put the floor back in, and a few weeks after that replaced the stonework on the old fireplace, all the while questioning his sanity.